Okay, this is the steps to endoscope reprocessing. After procedure, the technicians bring the scope in and drop off the dirty scope in the red bin. The first thing I do is I'll start folding up to the sink to the water level, which is here. Then I connect a leak tester. This is to check that the scope don't have any leaks in it. If I don't turn this on and put it in the water, and if there's a leak, this can cost a $10,000 repair bill. Okay. If you look at the tip, you can see the difference once I turn on the leak test. It'll fill it up with a little air. It's very subtle. So now you wait at least 30 seconds before I put it in the water. So with the water, we have enzymatic cleaner, which intercept, and you have 7 gallons of water and there's 10 cc's of intercept per 1 gallon. So it's 70 cc's of intercept. Now I will put the scope in the water. Now you want to make sure you don't see any bubbles or air. So first thing I do, I flush water through the scope to release any air that's trapped in the scope. That's here. Now a lot of leaks occur in the bending rubber of the scope. So the first thing I do is I bend the scope left and right and up and down under the water to make sure there's no bubbles coming out of the tip. Check around the buttons to make sure that there's no holes around the buttons. So I'll just gently massage each button under the water. And then I'll watch for 10 seconds to make sure I don't see any bubbles, any air being released from the scope. So now that I don't see any leaks, turn off the leak tester, lift it out of the water, and release the air. Now I can add the intercept. Okay. Now I'm wiping off the scope of any bioburden and visually looking for any blood, carbohydrates, anything on the scope, the bioburden. I make sure I wipe every part of the scope. Now you want to brush the channels. It's the air water area. The beginning of the channel, I have to push anything that's stuck in here. Now, want a brush going straight back. And that's the cord that connects into the machine. And that's the suction port also. Now you wait till the brush come out of the suction port and you check to see if there's any debris. And if there's any debris on this tip, you have to rebrush. But since there's no debris, I'll go down the insertion tube. And that's going down instead of straight back. You're going down, and this comes out of the tip. Okay, there's no debris. So now this is one-time use. You throw out the brush and the sponge. Now you want to suction through all the ports. You connect this to the suction port, also called the biopsy channel. You connect it to the suction. And you suck through for 30 seconds. This key actually flush out the water port, the tip of the scope, a port that I can't brush, so this is like, you do this in the pre-cleaning step in the room, the techs do. So I have to just attach this to the scope. Now, we have to connect this, make it a closed system to connect to the scope buddy, which is this machine, which flushes the scope. So now you connect this to the scope buddy, and you flush for 1 minute of enzymatic cleaner with water. That's a gallon and 10 cc's. So you flush, you make sure everything is under the water, and you're flushing through for 1 minute. So now I begin my setup for the next scope while I'm waiting. And like I said, this is flushing through enzymatic cleaner. The enzymatic cleaner breaks down the bioburden inside the scope. So as you're flushing through, it's breaking down the matter. And then after that, the next step is clear water. We're flushing out the enzymatic cleaner. And that also is a minute. You're making sure that we get out all the enzymatic cleaner, because when we put it in the scope reprocessor, we don't want to dilute it with the intercept. And also the next step after this is just air, and that's where flushing out the water so we don't also dilute the rapicide, which is the HLD, high level disinfectant. So, next step is just air, and just drop it. And all we have to wait for with the air is once the fluid is out of the scope, you'll see bubbles, so then you could stop it. Now you're letting out the water. Now you can see the bubbles. You're done. You're letting out the water because you have to refill the sink for the next scope. So I can disconnect from the scope buddy. Now I'm curling the scope in order for it to fit properly in the enzymatic, the metavators. So I'm going to rinse off the scope. Then I'm placing it in the machine. Then I'm connecting this into the machine. This is what flushes the scope. And also I'm connecting a leak tester also here in case there's a pin hole that I missed at the sink. And I'm going to make sure everything is under the level of the line that's here to make sure everything is covered in the machine. Now the scope number, which is 5131, and this is side B. This is A and B. I'm going to use B. You hit the ID 5131, and then my user ID. You don't have to enter the patient and the physician, and then you start, and that begins the process of endoscope reprocessing. Thank you.